Pans. I hate to think about how many times I've done this. When I used to mine with my grandpa at Big Nugget, I taught people how to pan tourists.
A young titan of the Klondike, turning dirt into millions, only to vanish into a shadow that shocked the world. Parker Schnabel, the unstoppable star of Gold Rush, built an empire from mud, hauling $24 million in a single season. Yet today, his $16 million fortune is frozen, and his name is whispered in courtrooms, not mines. How does a prodigy who conquered the earth end up buried by his own ambition? A single choice, a hidden deal, and a legal storm unraveled everything, leaving fans stunned and his legacy hanging by a thread. What secret pushed Parker from golden hero to a man on the edge? Buckle up for a wild ride through triumphs, betrayals, and a twist that'll leave you gasping. This is the untold story of a miner's rise and fall, and you won't believe what happens next. Parker's rise was nothing short of legendary. Starting as a teenager, he took a modest college fund and built a multi-million-dollar operation that made jaws drop. By his mid-20s, he'd mined more gold than most veterans see in a lifetime, and Gold Rush turned him into a household name. Season 14 was a pinnacle. $24 million in the bank, a crew that ran like clockwork, and a reputation as the toughest miner on TV. He was on pace to hit 10,000 ounces in Season 15, a $26 million dream. But ambition can be a double-edged shovel, and Parker swung it hard. He shelled out $2.5 million for Gold Run and Sulphur Creek, historic claims dripping with potential, and hidden risks. For a moment, it worked. His team moved the massive wash plant Bob 25 miles in a nail-biting 10 hours, and within days, they'd pulled in $766,000 worth of gold. Victory seemed certain, until it wasn't. Then came the bombshell that shook the mining world. Federal prosecutors slammed Parker with charges of environmental violations, illegal dredging, tampering with protected streams, and sloppy waste disposal. They claimed he skipped critical permits and fudged reports to chase his 10,000-ounce goal, a gamble that backfired spectacularly. The courtroom drama unfolded fast. Evidence piled up, from buried fuel tanks to ignored warnings, and the verdict hit like a sledgehammer. Life in prison, no parole. The guy who once hauled in 34,300 ounces with his trusty Big Red wash plant, now broken after 12 seasons, is left with nothing but a cell. His $16 million from this year? Untouchable. His claims? Under investigation. What pushes someone to risk it all when they've already won big? That's the question haunting fans as Parker's golden past clashes with his grim present. Before the gavel fell, Parker lived like a king. His garage boasted a custom Range Rover and a sleek Tesla Model S, each a shiny badge of his success. On his wrist, Rolex and Patek Philippe watches ticked away the hours of his high-flying life. Real estate was his playground too. A sprawling Alaskan ranch for downtime and a plush LA condo for city escapes. Whispers of a private jet floated around, though no one's confirmed it. But Parker wasn't just about flash. He had a sharp business mind. He launched a mining equipment line that cashed in on his fame and dipped into cryptocurrency, always hunting the next payoff. Deals with big mining firms gave him stakes in lucrative projects, proving he could play the game beyond the dirt. Insurance-wise, he likely had the works: equipment coverage, liability protection, maybe even a policy to safeguard his empire if he stepped away. Health and asset plans were probably in the mix too, though details are fuzzy. None of it, though, could save him from the legal storm. So what's the takeaway from Parker's wild ride? First, cutting corners is a trap. Compliance isn't optional when the stakes are this high. Second, don't bet everything on one dream. Spreading the wealth keeps you steady. Third, insurance matters, but it's no shield against bad choices. His story screams for ethics over quick wins. Chasing short-term gold cost him a lifetime of freedom. Once a symbol of grit and glory, Parker's now a cautionary tale of how fast success can crumble. But here's the kicker. Could this be a twist in his saga, not the end? As the dust settles on his empire, fans can't help but wonder if Parker Schnabel's legacy will fade behind bars or find a way to glitter again. The courtroom fell silent as Parker Schnabel's empire crumbled under the weight of 68 violations, each one a crack in the golden facade he'd built. Once the unstoppable force of Gold Rush, Parker now faced a reality harsher than any Klondike winter. His freedom gone, his $16 million fortune untouchable, and his legacy teetering on the edge. How does a man who mined millions by 24 vanish into silence? The answer lies in a series of choices that turned ambition into a trap, pulling the curtain back on a story that's as gripping as it is heartbreaking. From hauling $24 million in Season 14 to facing charges that stunned the world, Parker's journey is a roller coaster of triumphs and missteps, and we're diving into the chaos that changed everything. The trial was a spectacle, with prosecutors laying out a damning case. $3.1 million in unauthorized land changes, contaminated soil, and 8,000 gallons of untracked hydraulic fluid. Parker's team fought back, claiming it was all a mix-up, subcontractors' errors, delayed permits, no intent to harm. But then came the emails, raw and unfiltered, showing Parker urging his crew to push past warnings and keep digging. Those words weren't just a mistake. They were a pattern, one that painted him as a leader, willing to bend rules for glory. A former crew member's testimony hit even harder, alleging Parker ignored repeated alerts about missing paperwork and pressed on to hit his 10,000-ounce goal. Was this the same Parker who inspired millions with his grit? The contrast between his disciplined past and this reckless gamble is stark, leaving fans reeling as they watch their hero falter. The charges piled up: environmental misconduct, reckless excavation, falsified reports, and obstruction. Each one a nail in the coffin of Parker's career. The court's ruling was merciless, citing deliberate disregard for regulations and maximum environmental harm. Yet the aftermath was eerily quiet. No public prison announcement, no dramatic exit, just silence. Rumors swirled. Was Parker negotiating a deal? Hiding in protective custody? The absence of answers only fueled curiosity. What's next for the man who turned a college fund into a $13 million fortune by 24? His past was all about loyalty and hard work, shaped by his great-grandfather's Alaskan grit and his dad's 4:30 a.m. hustle. That Parker didn't chase mansions or flashy cars. He valued hunting trips with his crew and stories with his grandfather over gold bars. But now, that grounded spirit seems buried under legal woes. Parker's financial life tells a story of calculated risks and modest tastes. His net worth, estimated at $40 million in 2025, grew from early mining wins and TV fame, with $24 million from Season 14 alone. Future projections suggest a potential $50 million by 2030, but only if legal battles loosen their grip. His real estate empire is lean but strategic: a $5 million Alaskan ranch for solitude and a $3 million Vancouver condo for business. Cars? A rugged Land Rover Defender and a Tesla Model X, blending utility with eco-conscious flair. On his wrist, a rugged Breitling Navitimer sits beside a classic Omega Speedmaster, understated for a man of his wealth. A private jet? Unlikely, though he's chartered Gulfstreams for quick trips. His investments are bolder: a stake in a green mining tech startup, a $10 million equipment rental business, and a crypto venture that's weathered market swings. Insurance-wise, he likely has comprehensive coverage: liability for his claims, asset protection for equipment, and personal health plans, though no policy could shield him from this storm. What lessons emerge from Parker's saga? Diversify your bets. His all-in approach on Dominion Creek, a $15 million purchase, left him vulnerable when permits failed. Transparency is non-negotiable. Hiding paperwork cost him more than money. And legacy trumps cash. Parker's focus on experiences over status kept him grounded, a habit worth emulating. His crew, now scattered, and his claims, on hold, leave Gold Rush fans wondering, can he reclaim his story? The $16 million tied up in legal limbo and the $15 million Dominion bet, 40 feet deep and out of reach, symbolize a dream deferred. As Season 15's promise of 10,000 ounces fades, Parker's absence looms large. Yet in the quiet, there's hope. Could this be a pause, not a period, in his tale? The world waits, hooked on the next chapter of a miner who dared too much. Parker's plan was audacious: extract 10,000 ounces a year, worth $20 million per season, to unlock Dominion's $160 million potential. That meant moving 25 million bank yards of dirt, 30 million when it expanded, across 6 grueling seasons. The workload crushed everything in its path. Equipment groaned, schedules slipped, and his crew, including loyal hands like Tyson Lee and Mitch Blaschke, felt the heat. Failure wasn't an option after Parker's $15 million bet on Dominion, a purchase with no safety net. Every missed ounce was money gone forever, and the pressure wasn't just on him. It rippled through every worker on the claim. Can a leader stay true to his roots under that kind of strain? Parker's past, built on strategy and loyalty, clashed with a present where every decision carried sky-high stakes. This wasn't the Parker of old, the scrappy teenager who turned a college fund into $13 million by 24. Back in 2010, he joined Gold Rush Alaska and outworked everyone, earning $24 million in Season 14 alone. His travels, from Oregon to Guyana, made him a global mining icon, but Dominion changed the game. He doubled down, buying more land and inking a $1 million a year royalty deal with Metallic Minerals for a 12-kilometer stretch of Australia Creek. The scale was dizzying, and so was the risk. Why take on more when Dominion was already a gamble? Parker's fear wasn't losing money, it was losing his crew. Downsizing meant cutting the people who'd bled for him, so he expanded instead, raising the bar for everyone. If you couldn't keep up, you were out, no excuses. That relentless drive strained old ties. Rick Ness, once a close ally, drifted to the sidelines, their paths crossing only twice in Season 15. A single filmed sit-down hinted at Rick's own struggles, but they ran separate races. Tony Beets, Parker's former rival, was a ghost too. Just a few friendly coffees, no more battles over permits or royalties. Parker owned his ground now, but independence came at a cost. Who do you lean on when the world's watching you crack? The isolation hit hard as Dominion's challenges mounted. Broken wash plants, weather delays, and missed quotas piled up. And legal troubles, sparked by skipped permits and environmental missteps, crept closer, threatening to bury him. Parker's financial world reflected his high-stakes life. His net worth, around $40 million in 2025, ballooned from early mining hauls and TV deals, with $24 million from Season 14 pushing him higher. If legal woes ease, analysts peg his worth at $60 million by 2035. His real estate is modest but smart. A $6 million Yukon Lodge and a $4 million Seattle penthouse. He drives a battle-ready Jeep Wrangler and a Porsche Cayenne, paired with a rugged Tudor Black Bay watch and a vintage IWC pilot's watch. No private jet, but he charters Citation X jets for cross-country hops. Investments shine brighter. A $12 million stake in a sustainable mining tech firm, a logistics company, and a $5 million crypto portfolio. Insurance likely includes crew liability, equipment coverage, and personal health plans. though they couldn't stop the legal avalanche. Off camera, Parker stayed grounded, crashing on friends' couches from Mexico to the Bahamas, valuing kiteboarding and snowmobiling over glitz. What can we learn from Parker's high-wire act? Scale smartly, spreading risk across ventures beats betting the farm. Loyalty is gold, but don't let it blind you to reality. Parker's crew-first mindset stretched him thin. And always plan for the unexpected. Permits and weather can derail even the best blueprints. His 2022 Yukon Environmental Stewardship Award now feels like a distant memory as investigations loom. With $16 million frozen and Dominion on hold, Season 15's promise feels cursed. Yet Parker's grit lingers. Could this be the setup for his greatest comeback? As the crew scatters and the Klondike waits, the world holds its breath for the next move in his saga. Parker's life was a high-stakes chess game. The world watched Parker go global, from Guyana's jungles to Australia's outback, digging where others wouldn't dare. Parker's trail captured him battling altitude sickness in the Andes, mudslides in Papua New Guinea, and logistics in languages he barely knew. While crews wintered at home, he chased gold across continents, turning bugs and breakdowns into TV gold. His hustle paid off. $4 million a year from mining, TV deals, streaming rights, and merch, with his crew pocketing $10,000 to $25,000 per episode. But what drives a man to risk it all when he's already a legend? A $1 million a year royalty deal with metallic minerals for Australia Creek upped the ante, tying him to a 12-kilometer stretch of promise and pressure. Dominion wasn't enough. He had to build an empire, not just a mine. Parker's lifestyle stayed humble despite the millions. No Hollywood mansions, just a $2.5 million Haines, Alaska cabin, 2,000 square feet of wood and metal by a quiet lake, and a $5 million Calgary condo for city escapes. Rumors of a $950,000 mansion? He laughed them off, admitting he'd rather crash on friends' couches from the Bahamas to LA. His cars, a battle-scarred Ford F-150 and a Mercedes G-Wagon, matched his rugged vibe, while a Tag Heuer Carrera and a Panerai Luminor kept time on his wrist. Private jets? He chartered Falcons for global hops, not ownership. Investments told a sharper story. A $15 million stake in a renewable energy mining startup, a logistics firm, and a $7 million real estate trust. Insurance likely covered crew safety, equipment, and health, but no policy could dodge the legal storm that froze his claims. The fallout hit hard. Dominion's legal woes, 68 violations, from tainted soil to dodged permits, shattered Parker's momentum. His crew, once a family, scattered. Tyson Lee and Mitch Blaschke stayed quiet, while others scrambled to save what was left. Relationships with Rick Ness and Tony Beats, already distant, faded to memories of coffee chats. Can a lone wolf rebuild what took a pack to create? Parker's past, a tapestry of awards like the 2022 Yukon Environmental Stewardship Honor, now feels like a cruel irony. Season 15, meant to be his triumph, aired with a shadow, each episode a reminder of what's at stake. Fans feel the void, and Discovery's silence speaks volumes. Is this pause temporary, or the end of an era? Parker's lessons burn bright. Risk big, but hedge smart. His Dominion gamble needed a fallback. Protect your circle, but don't carry their weight alone. Loyalty stretched him thin. And legacy outlives gold. His focus on family and crew over flash is a blueprint for meaning. With $16 million frozen and his future cloudy, Parker's story isn't over. Could a comeback redefine his name? As the Klondike waits and fans hold their breath, one truth lingers. Parker Schnabel's heart beats in the dirt, and that pulse might just spark a resurrection that shakes the world.